Hey, welcome to another episode of InBetweenSets, where I give you a short breakdown of some of the conversations, topics, questions that my clients and I have in between sets. Hopefully something small to help you along your health and fitness journey. On today's episode, I'm really excited when these moments happen. It's less to do with questions or comments and more to do with something that I learned along the way during training my client. So, last client I just had, we were doing deadlifts. Specifically, we were doing rack deadlifts where it's not completely on the floor. It's a little bit raised off the floor. Doesn't matter those details. And while we're doing these, I was trying to cue my client in a way that would be helpful to protect their spine and to protect their minds in terms of the fear. So as you've probably done a deadlift or not, chances are you've been a little fearful about hurting your back. So as we are going through, I got a really good cue that I want to share with you. So every time I teach a deadlift, whether it's from the floor or if it's like a rack deadlift, I always do my best to start by saying, have your shins in contact with the bar. There's a reason for that. We're not going to get into that. But the cue was this. As you're reaching down to grab the bar, don't let your shins push the bar forward. Now, some people may teach the deadlift differently, and they have their reasons. I'll tell you my reason for teaching it this way. What this does is it forces you or allows you to really push your hips back and load the hamstrings and the back muscles properly. Most of the times when people do deadlifts, those shins will come way far forward, that bar will roll forward, and as a result, now your center of gravity and your center of movement are off, and so you end up loading your spine by trying to bring it back to over your center of gravity. And that's when people either feel it in their back and get worried about hurting their backs, or even worse, people end up injuring their backs because they put too much load on the spinal muscles on the spine rather than on the posterior chain hamstrings and glutes. So by keeping the bar in contact with the shins and then not letting it move forward as you're going into the deadlift position, it forces you to push your hips back and you get you'll feel the stretch in your hamstrings. That's loading the hamstrings. That's loading the glutes, posterior chain. It allows you to load the back as well using that bar weight. So that is the cue. That's the thing today. Is really pick that up, and I wanted to share that with you because number one, it was very helpful in teaching my client how to do it properly. And number two, for me, it's a cue that I want to remember so I can use it again. So this is twofold. Hopefully it helps you, but I know it definitely is going to help me. So I hope this is helpful. I am getting ready to go into another session. I love you. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.